Hey, Sean. Where is Sean?
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? Oh, that was real bad. I think you do better though. I said, how you guys doing today?
Yeah!
That's what I like to hear. Now, my name is JoJo, and helping me today is Christian. Nobody really likes him. And
Wow!
We work for a company called Conservation Ambassadors. Now, what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescued wildlife. Either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out to the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States. We have a problem with people trying to make pets of wild animals. That never ever works. It's also against the law. Those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Now what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we can, we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescue wildlife up close and personal. Now we've actually been partnering with Seaworld for the last 28 years, and we've gotten to witness some of the amazing rescue work that they continue to do. So when Seaworld asked us to come share some of our rescue wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. But we're actually going to start with one of our local friends. His name is Twitch. Check him out.
This is Twitch, our Virginia opossum. This is originally an East Coast animal, but they spread all across the United States while the railroad tracks were built. Believe it or not, these cats were brought state to state as a food source. But we came across Twitch here because one night a lady was driving home and she saw a cute little fur ball run across the road. She tried her best to stop, but she had accidentally hit that fur ball. So she got out of her car and she saw that she had hit an opossum. However though, this lady was really smart. She had done her research and she remembered reading somewhere that opossums are a marsupial. And we know marsupials now have the pouch, but what do they keep in that pouch? Baby. What do they keep in that pouch? There we go. So she got down real low, she bravely opened up that pouch, and what she found was 5 beautiful little opossums. So she scooped them on up and she took them to the nearest rehab center, where they had the best chance of getting back out in the wild. And they were doing great. They're eating, they're foraging for their own food, they're getting bigger and stronger, they start climbing. They're even safe from people, except for Twitch here, who they discovered had too many medical issues to release back out in the wild. So they sent them on a rest about 2.5 years ago. And I know 2 years might sound young, but opossums, they only live 2 to 3 years. But check this out. In those 2 to 3 years, a mama opossum will have over 50 babies. Yeah. If I had 50 kids, I'd probably go up to 3 years too. Now, opossums, they are amazing animals. They're North America's only marsupial. But this next guest, well, he's not too big. He's only about 6.5 feet. No, he's not too heavy either. He's only about 125 pounds. But if he gets any bigger, JoJo's gonna have to start working out. You guys are about to meet 125 pounds of North American alligator.
Oh!
Check this guy out. This is Spike, and he is the North American alligator. Now, the first question that people always seem to ask me is, they go, JoJo, why doesn't he bite you? And you guys know what the answer to that question is? Well, Spike here, he only bites Dodger fans. It's weird. This guy here, He's been doing educational programs for us for the past 32 years. See, 32 years ago, his family kept him in his bathtub in Los Angeles, and he was taken away, and he's been helping us do educational programs ever since. But the North American alligator here, he is perfectly set up for life in our southern swamps. Everything from his snorkel-like nose being positioned right on top of his head. He can stick just the tip of his nose out of the water, and he can breathe. Then he's got these awesome spikes. Those spikes are his armor. That is his protection from other alligators. But then he's got that big, long, muscular tail. Now that tail of his is the most well-muscled part of his body. He can pump that tail along and swim faster than a bottlenose dolphin can. And if another animal gets too close to the back end, he'll slap it silly with that big powerful tail. But my favorite part is his mouth. See, he has over 2,000 pounds of pressure power in that mouth of his. Whenever he grabs a hold of something, it definitely belongs to him. Now, the North American alligator is an animal that gives me hope. See, alligators give me hope because we almost lost these big, beautiful creatures. We almost lost the North American alligators because of this side skin. See, so many alligators are overhunting for that skin to make boots and belts and walls and purses out of them. Now, we almost lost the largest reptile that we have here in the United States. But you guys know what happened? People got involved. They started protecting the alligators, they started protecting the alligators' habitats, and now the North American alligator has made such a strong comeback that there are over 2 million alligators in Florida alone. Now they have to have a hunting season just to manage the population. But it shows that if we truly care about species, we can make a big difference out in the wild. But let's say goodbye to Spike, the North American alligator. Well, that's not how you do it. You guys, you say, see you later? Alligator. You know, I did that joke in the school once. And this little kindergartner came up to us at the end of the program. And he said, see you later, alligator, to Spike. So I said, ain't a wild crocodile. And this little kindergartner looked me dead in the eye and said, see you soon, you big baboon. Let's give Spike one more round of applause.
Whoa.
I think JoJo's overcompensating with his animals. This is Tia, our Tegu, and these guys come from the eastern parts of South America. Luckily, they're getting pretty popular in our pet trades. So Tia came to us because a lady, she went to her local pet shop and she picked up Tia as well as Tia's partner. And you know what? She did a pretty good job. She go from a nice, big, beautiful enclosure. Then she had to move. When she had to move, she had to downsize Tia's enclosure. And see, this Tia's partner here didn't like that too much. Tia's partner started to become a little more territorial, and one day Tia's partner decided to attack her, and she latched onto her back and caused so much damage, they had to send her to a reptile rescue. And that reptile rescue, well, Tia, she made a miraculous recovery, but you know what? When it came to rehoming her, nobody wanted her because of all the scarring on her back. They didn't think she was pretty enough to take her in. So they settled us, and I think she's absolutely gorgeous. Now these Tegus here, like I said, they're going through our pet trade, they're thriving, but the problem is people get them, they don't always know what they're getting themselves into. And now these guys get let loose back out in the wild, escaping, and they release back out, and now they become invasive species of Florida. And these are a highly adaptable animal. They have claws that help them grasp onto moving prey, scale up the trees, get the birds and their eggs. Their tail, they can smack predators silly with so they get flattened. They can also use this propeller to swim across the water, grasping their food as well. But a couple things I love about these guys. You guys check out that long tongue there. Yeah, they have that long fork-like steak tongue. They use that tongue to stick it out. They collect scent particles from each side of their mouth. They bring it right back in, and that allows them to smell for their prey. It also lets me know who did and didn't shower in the front row here.
Whoa.
My favorite thing about the Tegus here is see the boys. They have a cool thing they do when they want to get the ladies. They start developing these big old circular jaws. They look like they have 2 basketballs hanging on each side of their mouth. And that brings the girls in. Then, what they start doing? They start doing push-ups. That's what seals the deal. I'm still working on that part. Now, a couple months goes by, those babies pop out, baby Tegus. They all have bright green heads. That's because they're smaller, they're an easy prey. So that green head hides them in the green foliage out there. Now, these guys, as much as I love reptiles, the cool thing about them is about 3 months out of the year, these are actually a warm weather creature. But you know what? Speaking of invasive species, they're always causing a problem worldwide. And taking here, they're eating a lot of our endangered birds out in Florida, as well as the North American crocodile eggs, which are already making a hard comeback and becoming the brink of extinction. But speaking of problem animals, this next guest is famous for getting in trouble. Well, let's say goodbye to Tia, our Tegu.
Oh my.
This is Ruckus. And what is he? A raccoon. You guys are exactly right. They're also known as the trash panda, the dumpster deviants, the bin bandits, the garbage grubbers. But regardless of all their silly nicknames, raccoons are one of the most highly adaptable animals on this planet. For instance, their fingertips. See, raccoons, they have hypersensitive fingertips. Fingertips that are about 6 times more sensitive than yours and mine. That 6 times sensitivity allows him to feel the creatures' airways, searching for crawdads and frogs, while his eyes can still be up and looking out for predators. The next thing that helps him out is weirdly his wrists. See, raccoons have these amazing wrists that can rotate, so they go up trees head first, as well as come down trees head first. Perfectly set up for their arboreal lifestyle. But the thing that helps him out the most is definitely his stomach. See, raccoons, they are what's known as an omnivorous animal, meaning they can eat any kind of food source, whether it's fruits, flowers, leaves, dead stuff, eggs. These guys here, they can survive in almost every climate we have here in North America. They can even survive in the hearts of our greatest cities, and I think for putting up with us, we gotta give the raccoons a whole lot of credit. But instead, we're having a problem with raccoons. And the problem goes like this. Every single week at our center, we get a call saying we're having a raccoon problem. When we ask what the problem is, it's a family saying, well, we have this whole group of raccoons that comes up onto our porch at night and eats all our dog food and our cat food. Well, I'm sorry, that's not a raccoon problem. That's a people problem. We are leaving food out in the middle of the night and expecting a wild animal not to come up and eat it. But what's happening is far more serious. Because these guys are getting so much extra food, they're having more and more babies, and their population has risen to the point where now they're problem animal. Luckily, it's super easy to fix. Just make sure your trash cans are nice and secure. Take that dog food, that cat food in at night, and these guys, they'll go back to eating the things they're supposed to eat, which in our area is stuff like slugs, snails, insects, and small rodents. And then they'll become a helper animal rather than a problem animal. And I think it'd be pretty cool to see. Now, Ruckus here, he actually came to our center. Somebody was driving their car down the road late at night. They actually noticed a box sitting off to the side of the road. And they checked out that box where they found 3 little baby raccoons. Their eyes hadn't even opened yet. And they did the absolute right thing. They scooped them all up and once again took them to a rehab center. They had the best chance of making it back out to the wild. And his brother and sister, they did great. They've since been released back out to the wild. But Ruckus was a different story. See, he had an infection where his tear ducts, where his eyes would seal shut every time he fell asleep. Also, Ruckus couldn't go to the bathroom on his own. So he was deemed non-releasable and sent to our center. So I spent my nights cleaning out his eyes, wiping his bottom until he pooped. And apparently that made us really good friends. But that is little Ruckus. Let's say goodbye to the big old raccoon here.
All right.
Whoa.
Is Nova, and what is she? Who? That's finally owl too. You guys asked it right. She's an owl. She's Nova, the great horned owl. And she is an excellent nighttime hunter. In fact, hopefully she has to help her out are those big old beautiful eyes. You see, if we turned off every light in this room right now to where it was so dark that you couldn't even see in front of your hand, and you just lit one tiny little candle, she'd be able to see about as well as we can right now. Those eyes are so big collecting in that light, but there's only one big problem with them. They're so big that they're actually stuck facing straight forward in their head. They can't move their eyes. So, if they want to look to the left, they have to turn their whole head to the left, to the left.
Oh.
I'll take it. All right. If they want to look to the right, the whole head has to turn to the right. Beautiful. But you know what? That head of theirs, that's why they have such a flexible neck. They have about 7 extra vertebrae in their neck, 14 cervical vertebrae that allow them to turn their head 270 degrees, almost one full circle around. It's not like the cartoons though, they can't go around and around. If they did that, their head would pop off. But the other thing these guys have are those comb feathers. See, they have comb feathers at the tip, and that grants them the gift of silent flight. So, when they're out there hunting, and if they're going flappity, they wouldn't be able to hear the predator, their prey. But at the same time, if they're making a lot of noise, their prey would hear them. So this allows them to swoop down, make a sneak attack, and they can collect about 2 to 3 small rodents a night. They keep our ecosystem perfectly balanced so that we're not overrun by the mouse and rat world out there. Now, I absolutely love her, but she came to us about 14 years ago. She was flying free up in the skies. And you know, she made a mistake and she got a little too close and swooped down too low, and somebody accidentally hit her with their car. And they shattered her left wing. But the UC Davis Raptor Center, they swooped her on up, and you know what? They were able to save her wing. But her wing didn't quite come back just right. They saved her life, but her wing just has a little bit of bend in it. And that little bit of bend in her wing only allows her to fly about 40 feet at a time. She can fly a little bit, but not enough to survive out there in the wild. But that was Nova, our great horned owl. Now this next guest is one of our favorite owls to share in the audience, but you'll notice if she comes out, she's a little bit of a balance issue, so just be a little patient with her. Well, let's say goodbye to Nova.
This is Spirit, and she is our bald eagle. Now you can definitely see why we have Spirit at our center. See, she was flying free when she was on one of her very first flights out in Sitka, Alaska, when a fisherman actually shot her in her left wing. And she managed to swim her way back to shore. She was taken in by the Sitka Raptor Center, and they saved her life. But unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of hers, and so they had to amputate it below her elbow. So she has completely lost the ability to fly. She also has some balance issues as well. Now, Spirit though. This bird is one of the most recognizable and inspiring animals on this planet. But once again, we almost lost these big, beautiful creatures. We almost lost the bald eagles due to a chemical called DDT. See, DDT was this miracle pesticide. People used to use it all the time. They'd even spray it on their children. And nobody was being hurt directly. That chemical would wash into the riverways. It would be absorbed by the fish. The eagles would then eat those fish. And the eagles themselves would survive. But they ended up with a calcium deficiency. And that calcium deficiency resulted in the bald eagles laying very, very soft eggs. So when they would nest, the eggs would break, and no new generations of eagles were being born. Now here's the thing. DDT was banned in the 70s. It was done being used, but the problem was still occurring, and our national symbol was in danger of going extinct. It actually took the help of passionate people to go and watch the bald eagles' nests, waiting for moms to lay their eggs. Right when those eggs were laid, they would chase mom away, which is not as easy as it sounds. They would take the soft eggs back to incubate them, and leave the big eggs in the nest. Now, right when those babies would hatch, they'd rush them back to that very same nest, and this was working surprisingly well. But the best part was, those babies, they didn't have the chemical in their system anymore. They were able to reproduce on their own. And this process worked so well that in 2007, the bald eagles were able to be taken off the endangered species list, and our national symbol is thriving once again in our waterways. I think that's absolutely incredible. Now, oh, thank you, I did all the work. Now, Spirit here, she's an amazing bird. She has eyesight that's 6 times better than yours and mine. She has close to 1,000 pounds per square inch of pressure power in those talons. And this bird is even known if they catch a fish that's too heavy for them to fly with, they'll swim it back to shore. They are an amazing fisher and scavenger, and I am absolutely honored to be able to share her with you guys. But that is Spirit. Let's say goodbye to the big bald eagle here.
Alright, and this is Flynn, our California desert tortoise. Now I'm gonna set him down so he can walk a little bit. But I gotta tell you, he's really, really fast. So if he gets loose, you guys have to help me catch him. Alright, ready? Go Flip! Alright, I lied, he's not that fast. But he's persistent. So by the time I'm done talking, he might end up all the way over here. Now Flip here, unlike that beautiful bald eagle that you guys saw, that populations were brought back due to human efforts, Flip here, the desert tortoise, their populations were devastated because of human efforts. You see, people would find these guys walking around the desert, and they would swoop them on up, and they would take them home and try and make a pet out of them. Then, after 30, 40 years would go by, they get tired of taking care of these animals, and they would release them back out in the wild. That causes a bigger problem. You see, the desert tortoises that were brought into captivity and owned by people started developing a bacterial infection in their lungs. That infection then spread to the wild population that released them. So we could not send these guys back out. So California Fish and Wildlife, they made permits to basically allow these guys to be kept by people once they're already captured out of the wild to live out the remainder of their days. Only problem is though, Flip outlived his owner. Flip here is 70 years old. So he likes his dinners at 4 o'clock. Sharp. Now, Flip is an amazing animal, and we absolutely love him. But this next guest is probably the most internet famous animal on the planet. Her name is Tater Tot, and I'll check her on out.
This is Tater Tot. And what is she? Capybara. Now, I'm going to sit with her. Do you want me to sit with her? Because she's heavy. Now, this girl here. The fact that all you guys know, hi girl. Yes, I know. The fact that all you guys know what she is actually amazing to me. See, back when I was a kid, which was not that long ago, okay, it was that long ago, but nobody really knew what a capybara was. They're kind of like a trivia animal. And maybe if you had studied a bit about wildlife, you might know the capybara. But ever since these guys have been discovered on social media for doing funny things, like sitting on the backs of crocodiles, or hanging out next to jaguars while the jaguars will devour the prey, or baby capybaras surfing on the backs of mom capybaras through the waterways, these guys have now become one of the most famous animals on this planet. But I'll tell you what, the capybara's life is not nearly as glamorous as it's made out to be online. Kind of like the rest of us. But no, they survive in the South American rainforest, alongside top-tier predators like jaguars, crocodiles, caiman, and even anacondas. So when a baby capybara is first born, they have to be ready to survive. So on 1 day old, they can already walk and run. They can already swim. Do you know what you guys can do when you're 1 day old? You can cry and maybe poop. That's about it. These guys are running through the jungles of South America. At 4 days old, they start to eat solid foods and continue to nurse on mom for milk. So at 4 days old, they really start to grow. And they will grow and grow and get bigger and bigger. And even Tater Tot here, who already weighs about 65 pounds, is going to keep on growing until she weighs closer to 100 pounds, making capybaras the largest rodents on this planet. And they are a rodent. Remember the beaver, porcupine, mouse, and rat family. And like all rodents, she has ever-growing teeth. The forefront teeth in her mouth are constantly growing. So she needs to chew on hard woods or hard foods in order to keep those teeth at a healthy level. Now, Tater Tot, though, she actually came to our center in a really weird way. See, there's a breeding program out in Arizona, a place that bred animals for other zoos. When their owner unexpectedly passed away, they had to shut down and find homes for all of his animals. So Fish and Wildlife called us up and asked if we could give some animals a home. And we taken some amazing creatures, including a capybara that showed up at our center and gave birth 2 days later. Now here's the thing. Tater Tot's mom, she was taking care of the other babies, but she rejected Tater Tot. She didn't want to take care of her. So you know what I had to do? I had to take her into my home. I had to give her a bottle every 2 to 3 hours. I had to make sure she's eating all the right foods. She's since become best friends with my little dachshund, my wiener dog. They're good buddies. But do you remember I said she likes to chew on hard objects? Well, Tater Tot, she can care less if an object is hard or not. You know what she cares about? Whether or not I love it. If it's my brand new video game controller, my favorite t-shirt, my coffee table, if I love it, she chewed on it, she's rapidly ruining my life. She knows it too. But no, she sets me down to proper enclosure outside. But even though I've been raising her since she's 4 days old, she definitely belongs in the wild of South America. That's where she's truly supposed to be. Now, capybaras, they have a couple of noises that they use. The first is called trilling. It's like a chirp meets a laser beam, and that is her excited social call. If she's nervous or upset, she lets out a bark. It's like a bark meets a grunt, and that's her alert call to say there's a predator in the area. And when she's really happy, you know what she does? She wiggles her ears. You guys might have seen her do it a few times throughout the show. When she's really, really excited, that's when she does the ear. There it is, the ear flick. And that means she is one happy cappy. But did you guys enjoy those animals? You know, I'll tell you what. Because we get to work with all these awesome wild animals, people tend to ask us this one question. They tend to ask us what our favorite animal is. And I feel like they always expect answers like monkeys, lions, tigers, elephants, or capybaras. And I'll tell you what, we love the wildlife. That's why we do what we do. My favorite animal, without question, without a doubt, is this next guest. His name is Basil. And you guys will definitely know what he is when you see him. Check him out. Come on out, everybody. This is my favorite animal. It's also Tater Tot's favorite animal. I can trust him, he trusts me. I know he really wants to be with me. You have to know, wild animals belong in nature where they're truly supposed to be. But thank you so much for coming and enjoying our animals, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Seaworld, everybody.